Over the past few years, The Simpsons has been making headlines for all their correction predictions about the future. With 29 seasons and counting, the show may have predicted a lot, but they've also gotten a lot wrong. See how The Simpsons was dead wrong in areas of sports, politics, and advancements in technology. Before you watch, click subscribe. You'll join our notification squad and be the first to know of new Screen Rant content.
Ugh, I hate this job. Everything's crisis this and end of the world that. Nobody opens with a joke.
President Schwarzenegger. Back in 2016, The Simpsons made headlines for their prediction of Donald Trump as president back in the year 2000. The prediction was featured in the episode Bart to the Future, taking place in 2020 and featuring Lisa as president. While in office, Lisa talks about Donald Trump serving as the president before her. While the 16-year prediction was pretty impressive, the show was a little off when it came to another presidential prediction. For the release of The Simpsons movie in 2007, the commander-in-chief was none other than Arnold Schwarzenegger. Schwarzenegger appeared in multiple scenes within the movie, but he will likely never become president of the United States. One of the big things holding him back is the fact he was born in Austria. The movie's writers chose to place Schwarzenegger in the role because they didn't want to have movie feel dated with George W. Bush as the president. Seeing how the role of president is open to pretty much anyone these days, Schwarzenegger could have been a possibility, but the animators would have had better odds at giving Oprah the Oval Office instead. Despite being wrong about the presidential pick, The Simpsons movie did showcase the NSA spying on all Americans years before Edward Snowden revealed the government was doing this exact same thing.
Everybody be cool. You be cool.
George Clooney's death. The Simpsons have made a lot of great celebrity predictions over the years. Lady Gaga's animated performance in a silver outfit mirrored her Super Bowl halftime show where she was lowered from the rafters in a very similar outfit. The show also showcased characters similar to Siegfried and Roy getting attacked by their tigers years before the real attack took place, and their show was shut down for good. Thankfully, there's one prediction the show got wrong, and it involves the death of George Clooney. In the 19th annual Treehouse of Horror special, Homer Simpson gets hired by an agency. His goal? Kill off celebrities so their likenesses can be used for a number of product placements. In a quick montage, Homer manages to kill off George Clooney, Prince, and astronaut Neil Armstrong. In the years that followed, both Prince and Neil Armstrong would sadly pass away, but George Clooney lives on. The George Clooney death by quicksand wouldn't be the only time The Simpsons tried to showcase his death. For the 25th Treehouse of Horror, Clooney's body was featured as part of the opening title card, all chopped up to pieces and placed alongside other celebrities like Taylor Swift and Jennifer Lawrence.
He can talk, he can talk, he can talk, he can talk, he can talk.
I can sing!
Planet of the Apes, the musical. The Simpsons had showcased dozens and dozens of fake movies, shows, and sequels, which would eventually become a reality or near close to it. Whenever the characters go to the movies, it's fun to look at the background for gags and jokes, including fake movie titles. In Season 7, one of the fake productions was a Broadway musical for Planet of the Apes, starring Troy McClure. An extended sequence for the musical features a song entitled Dr. Zaius. The moment was great and almost seemed like a shoo-in for a prediction of the future. While Planet of the Apes was relaunched as a prequel movie series, we've yet been able to purchase our Broadway tickets to a show. Even though there is no official Planet of the Apes musical, there is definitely room for one. In recent years, we've seen Broadway adaptations of all kinds of films, including A Christmas Story, Matilda, Spider-Man, Rocky, Carrie, and Big Fish. It wouldn't be too far-fetched to see singing and dancing apes in New York City. For now, the prediction remains false, but at least we can enjoy The Simpsons' take on their Dr. Zaius song. Maybe someone should dub it into War of the Planet of the Apes.
But do you love the leader more than having your very own brand new hover bikes?
Hover vehicles. Traveling into the future has given fans a great glimpse of what could happen to The Simpsons if the characters actually aged. Besides focusing on their jobs and love lives, the episodes are also packed with predictions about future trends and technology. Some things have been on par, including smartwatches and FaceTime calls, but other pieces of technology have been way off. This includes the introduction of hover vehicles. In the episode Future Drama, the show takes place in 2013, which probably seemed a lifetime away back in 2005 when it first aired. Among all the future technology showcased in the show, we see Homer driving one of the first prototype hover cars. While hover cars would be great, we're still trying to build a market of fully electric cars too. And our self-driving car technology has taken a few bumps along the way as well. The Simpsons also tried their hand at predicting hover vehicles with Professor Frink's hover bike. Both hover vehicles were also featured in multiple Simpsons video games, including Hit and Run and Tapped Out. 2013 may have been a little too premature to introduce the hover vehicles. Aiming for 2113 may have been a better prediction date for the show.
Hey, why is it destroying other toys?
Digital upgrades. Predicting the future of digital technology is a tough task. Over the years, The Simpsons has showcased some great glimpses of things to come. Voice recognition, video advancements, and the growth of Google Glass has all been showcased on the show in humorous ways. Some of their digital predictions were close to being real, but have remained fictionalized to the world of The Simpsons. Two of these digital upgrades were featured in the episode entitled Lisa's Wedding. In the 1995 Season 6 episode, we are transported all the way to the year 2010, where Lisa is set to get married to an Englishman. The episode takes us to England, where the Big Ben clock tower has replaced the analog display with a more modern digital display. Well, it's 2018, and Big Ben still has the classic display and will likely never be replaced, as the clock has more historical relevance rather than being used to display the time. The episode also showcases the future with the use of hologram trees. While hologram technology has been used to create digital Tupac performances and a Christmas tree display, the widespread use of them has not been implemented, and the technology is way too expensive to go mainstream. Although, it would be pretty great to walk through a hologram forest one day.
Wendell is cut. Rudy is cut. Janie, you're gone. Steven, I like your hustle. That's why it was so hard to cut you.
NFL game predictions. One of the more impressive areas where The Simpsons thrives with predictions of the future is in the NFL. In the early 90s, the show featured a Super Bowl episode where they correctly predicted the Washington Redskins would defeat the Buffalo Bills. 1 year later, the Fox network reran the episode, replaced the Redskins with the Dallas Cowboys, and got the prediction right again. The same trend continued for another year, and then the show decided to stop before they got ahead of themselves. In recent years, The Simpsons was also able to predict the Falcons and Patriots Super Bowl matchup, but there was 1 year where the show was a little off. In a scene where Homer watches TV, he sees that the Denver Broncos are playing the Seattle Seahawks in the Super Bowl. While the matchup is a correct prediction for Super Bowl 48, the end result was far different than the Broncos' 19-14 win over the Seahawks. The Super Bowl prediction streak ended with this pick, as the Seahawks in their top-ranked defense rolled over the Broncos in a one-sided 43-8 victory. The matchup prediction is impressive enough, but the tainted prediction takes away from the show's great track record in the years past.
The burglar trips the alarm, the house raises from its foundations, and runs down the street and around the corner to safety.
Robot advancements. Robots and advanced technology have always been a part of The Simpsons, thanks to intelligent characters like Lisa Simpson and Professor Frink. Through the years, we've seen advanced robots like Linguo, the Ultra House 3000, and the Furby spoof toy known as the Funzo. A lot of the robot technology is used for funny gags and stories, but some try to act as predictions of the future. In the special flash-forward episode entitled Future Drama, we get some of the creators' glimpses into 2013 that have not quite panned out as they should have. In one scene, Marge takes a Polaroid picture and is able to instantly transfer it into a cake. Just like the Back to the Future 2 instant Pizza Hut scene, we have not seen any great instant food technology yet. And Easy Mac does not count. A futuristic postcard featured a moving image on it, which almost seems like a printed out version of Instagram, but with advanced hologram paper instead. The same episode also showcased futuric cops with full robot bodies. Cops have remained the same as ever, with many of them just adapting to the use of body cams. Never mind law enforcement robotics. We guess The Simpsons was a little ahead of its time in these cases.
Well, I'm never gonna let something like that happen again. I'm going into space right now.
NASA space travel. One of the most infamous episodes of The Simpsons is the Season 5 episode entitled Deep Space Homer. The iconic plot involves NASA's new program to bring an ordinary citizen into space. Homer gets selected and ends up on a space adventure of a lifetime. While flying through space, Homer uses the anti-gravity cockpit to fly around and chomp on chips. While Homer's adventures look fun, the idea of sending an ordinary citizen to space is still years and years away. NASA hasn't even humored the idea, while a number of private companies still try to get their rockets launched into the air. In actuality, the closest thing to an ordinary citizen heading out to space was NSYNC member Lance Bass's journey in 2002. Bass went through extensive training and had every intention of flying to space with Russia. His flight was eventually canceled, but one day we may be looking back and seeing Homer Simpson's start as a prediction of everyday space travel for humans. The potato chip scene has sparked some great pictures from real astronauts, floating around their rockets and eating floating foods like burgers, apples, and candy. We imagine a bag of chips is far too messy for the small space rockets.
And we brought along a movie. Do you guys know where we could find some awesome kids to show it to?
Dearborn, Michigan?
No, here!
U.S. geography and wars. Through the years, some of the Simpsons' fictional headlines have turned into real ones. This includes Greece's major debt, the FIFA scandal, and the ability to pick a future Nobel Prize winner. The show also showcased Team USA winning the gold medals for curling at the Winter Olympics 8 years before it happened. With such a strong pulse on modern news and current events, there were a few predictions the show that were way off. Even though rumors have been around for years about adding a 51st state, nothing has happened, and the US remains at an even 50. In the future drama episode, the characters discuss the newest state, aptly named Saudi Israelia. The closest thing we have a 51st state is Puerto Rico, but it would take a lot to make that one official. The episode, set in 2013, also predicted we would be in the middle of Gulf War V. While we have plenty of overseas conflicts, thankfully there's been no Gulf War V, and hopefully a major war will be avoided in the future. Of course, the predictions, like many other, were made in jest, so it's really a toss-up to see what predictions The Simpsons gets right in the long run.
An announcement that will completely change the way you look at everything.
Ooh.
And that announcement is...
You're all losers!
Apple products. The Simpsons loves to take on big corporations through parodies and spoofs, and it's no different with Apple. On The Simpsons, the company is known as Mapple, and they have been heavily mocked through the years. Along with a number of characters using Mapple products, the show dedicated a whole episode to the world and culture of Mapple, including the Genius Bar, expensive technology, and the amount of money people spend on products. On multiple occasions, the show has featured Apple products of the future, including a text and voice recognition system. One way the show veered off from the real Apple and their accurate perceptions was with Apple's relation to death and dying. In the season 17 episode entitled $1 Million Abbey, we see a product called the Die Pod. The parody device helps patients who seek out medical-assisted suicide, and also features some preloaded music on it. Of course, Apple would never use a device like this, but a hospice-based iPod isn't too far out of reach with a catalog of music representing your whole life. Another quick Apple mention came on a news scroll which said the company released the iGhost device. No details were given, but we're guessing it was a portable device used to communicate with the dead. Either way, the only association Apple seems to want with death is tanking the battery life and performance of their older devices, so we'll all upgrade. Allegedly.
Dr. Zayas, Dr. Zayas. Oh, Dr. Zayas.
Wow, what predictions do you think will come true in the future? Do you still enjoy watching The Simpsons? Were there any wrong predictions we missed? Let us know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like this video, share it, and subscribe to Screen Rant on YouTube so you can stay up to date with our awesome videos. Thanks for watching.